There's a lot I need to do, stranger, so if you've come on business, you should make it quick. The forge is hot if you need to use it, and I've a few items I can spare, but we'll need them soon enough, I'm sure. The man's a fighter, sure, but he's not been in Canneroc too long. He doesn't know us that well, and we don't know him either. Just about the only damn thing that keeps the town from falling to pieces. Literally, it's a blacksmith's job. Don't let my mother hear you. You'll have a mouth full of salt and your hands full of cold iron before you can reach the door. All my life, it was just a tale the old ones would talk of when night fires were nearly out. But it's becoming real. The widow is real. I can't say I know much about it, besides the stories I heard when I was a boy. I spend most of my time in town as the handyman. But it's almost as if the stories are now true. It's like the witch has come back. I'd be happy to fix up old Gossamer End for you. That place could use some expansion. I can put in a dining area for some gold. What do you say? It will be ready in no time. Let me know if you want any further expansion. Well, it sure would be useful to have an alchemy workbench. I can add a room with one for some gold. The alchemy workbench should come in handy in these neck of the woods. The main floor has been expanded as much as possible, but I can squeeze in an attic for some gold. You'll be amazed when you see that attic. Well, I'll have to watch out for the riverbed, but I can add on a basement for some gold. I'll go ahead and set up the basement with some plants and reagents. You'll love it. If you're interested in more storage space, I can expand your basement for some gold. Well, let me know if you are. Stay alert.
Stranger, I heard you aren't afraid to pass through Webwood. What I wouldn't give to be like you, to leave this place. I haven't seen my home in weeks, and I fear something horrible has happened there. I don't know him personally, but it seems few do. I've seen him in a fight, however, and there's much we can learn from him. I am not from the town of Canneroc. Not properly. My family... Well, I came from the east, from a small farm on the edge of Webwood. My family was never that familiar with the history of Webwood. When we were fleeing from the war, we didn't have time to learn the old stories. But that's all they are. Stories. There's no reason to believe in the widow any more than that the sun might fall one day from the sky and crush us all. My parents loved the wood. Genuinely. There was no war. There was no worrying. It was a simpler life for them. But they were not from here. They didn't know the danger to our farm, to our lives. That's just it. I don't know. I came to Canneroc some days before the first attacks. I was stuck here. Our farmhand, Cartery Jake, stumbled into Canneroc a few days later. He was tight-lipped about my parents at first. Then he said the spiders got them. Now he avoids me, avoids everyone. Something happened at the farm, but I can't bring myself to find out what. Thank you. I will give you whatever I have. Just bring me news of my mother and father. I need to know what happened there. At Togh Farm, I need you to find out what happened there. I lost contact with my family when the spider attacks stranded me here. Our farmhand, Cartery Jake, made it here a few days after the attacks began, but he won't give me a straight answer about my parents. I fear the worst. Safe journey.
So, you're the one that's supposed to save us all. All I see is another liability. If you're looking for potions, see Silhouetta. For a bed, a forge, or other items, try the inn. And whatever you do, stay alert. Barton knows his way around the blade, and he knows what it's like to fight for your life. We could use 10 more like him. Wasn't from these parts. Came from the north, from Gorhart. Nice enough place, but if they think the woods of Otheroth are frightening... Has everyone become a child when I wasn't looking? The widow is an invention, a story by the god's sake. Since when have words been cause for such panic? Webwood has its terrors, certainly, but is it more comforting to give those a name? A motive? A legend? It's trying to kill us. That forest will be the death of us all. I've been thinking that since the first moment I came to this town. I've work to do. Garner or Barton? I don't know which one would have led us out of this alive, of those of us that are still around. All I know is I need to close up the windows, check the cellar, and pray the spiders don't find the cracks in the shingling. If you're interested in more storage space, I can expand your basement for some gold. Be careful when you go in there. Somehow a spider got in when I was doing the last upgrade. I can do one last expansion of the basement, give you more space for the plants down there, for some gold. This'll be the last upgrade I can give you. I hope you like everything I've done. Keep safe. So, the savior comes for Cartery. What do you want? Just a retired mercenary that got stuck in a one-coin town. Men like that don't make or break a defense. Why are you wanting to know about him? I don't go asking you about yourself. You could return the favor. Do you go talking to all strangers, asking about their lives and who they are? Leave me alone. That's what I'm called, and that's all you'll be getting out of me. A story for children. There's not much more to it than that. Nasty place. I'd get as far away from it as I could. You did? I must have left it behind when I was fleeing those spiders. The damn things were everywhere. I can see you're not convinced. So that toff brat sent you to do a little digging. It was only a matter of time before she learned what I did to her parents. But you found out first. A stroke of luck. Now, let's come to an arrangement, shall we? Say, a heavy purse for your silence? Carowin and I fought at the gates of Mel Senshir years ago. We deserted before we saw our second battle. When we came here, she invited me to join her and her husband Ima and their daughter on that farm. It was a simple life. I thanked the gods for it. Then Carowin and Ima decided to return to the war and bring me with them. When they insisted, I used the only skill war ever taught me. Really, the wandering hero is going to bring me to justice? I think not. I've murdered twice before, and you shall be my third. Finally, looks like the wrong place at the wrong time, like me. No offense, but I've not much interest in talking or listening. Doesn't pay to get too comfortable with people in this town right now. Finally.
I can't believe Cartery killed them. My mother and father had been his friends for years, before I was even born. To think that he did all this just to avoid the war. I knew my family was likely dead, but I thought it wouldn't be over something like this. Thank you for your help. Here is your reward, as promised. Safe journey. Ugh.